Welcome, everybody. I'm Brother Francis Revels-Bey. I am the host for Clear Blue Radiance here on the. Oh, my volume. Okay. This is myself, Brother Francis Revels-Bey, and I am the host for Clear Blue Radiance channel podcast here on the Resident Essentials YouTube channel. And today is December the 15th, 2022. Whew. Hope that all of you can hear me as you come in here today. One of the things I want to mention is that I've been a spiritual counselor for 40 plus years. I enjoy doing the work, assisting people, and one of the best things I like to do is help people like yourself have greater clarity in your own life and also find or refine or redefine your purpose. And our purpose in life changes. At every step or stage of our life, we are growing, or we should be. Yeah, and that sometimes we're going to have roadblocks, okay? We're going to have that. But we're always expanding on some kind of level for ourselves. And the more we interact with the people, the more we allow ourselves to open up the heart and open up the mind, then we could rest assured that we will graduate this process. And I know everybody's talking about ascension, 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 but the first thing that actually ascends is your consciousness. What you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself, and how you may or may not be moving in a direction that's healthy for you emotionally and mentally. Already, we've seen a lot of things that come up in the news. And just recently, that guy that was called Twitch, when we look at people, we think that everybody is happy. This guy has a wife, he has three children. I think he had two girls and a boy. And, he had been on the Ellen show. And then once that got off the air, just prior to that, he was, I think, a DJ, but he was also an excellent dancer. And he was on that show, Do You Think You Can Dance? And then he became a judge on that show. And we might think that people are very happy all the time. We know this exterior, this face, we could go, I'm happy, but inside we're struggling. And so a lot of people do struggle with mental health. A lot of people do struggle with emotional health. A lot of people we know struggle with physical health. Our metaphysical spiritual concept, how we see ourselves, is also giving ourselves a good working over. Hey there, Amber, how you doing? And so today's topic is when in doubt, you can trust your feelings. When in doubt, you can trust your feelings. Now, when you think about that topic, what is the word doubt? When you think about the word doubt, what could that mean for you possibly? Well, I think of one word: uncertainty. Uncertainty and doubt kind of go together. Uncertainty or doubt when you don't really understand why things appear to be falling apart in your life. You may not have any friends. You may not even maybe within your own family. Sometimes that happens in your own family structure for years. People are having their fallouts, right? Aunts and uncles, siblings, especially, going back and forth. And this can be such a trial error for many relationships. Even in the realm of business, it's trial and error sometimes. You might have a system, but for a while your system may fall apart because it may not measure up to the other things that are happening around you in the field of business. So there's so much that's going on, but the best thing to do is really stay focused in the now moment as much as you can. Now, one of the things here is, yeah, we worry about ourselves, our families. We're uncertain about that, uncertain about relationships. We're uncertain about our lives in general or the political scene. Like, but 2 years ago was that stuff that happened down in DC. and we were watching it live. It was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is actually happening, you know. So imagine what it's like in war-torn countries where people are hearing bombs going off in the middle of the night or during the daytime, people running for shelter. Imagine what that's like. And then people worry about their future. Now, some people, and I'm not going to say the smarter, I'm going to just say people in general might worry too far down the line. They want to go, well, what am I going to be doing 10 years from now? What does that look like? 5 years from now? When in the very moment, you may not have anything. So you can't project that far ahead. You can only project from moment to moment or from day to day. Okay. And if you've ever lived where you were literally on the street or floating between houses and a friend's, couch, you know what that's like. You have no idea what the next day is like. All you could do is focus on the now moment. Now, why do we doubt ourselves? Again, we don't trust ourselves. Sometimes we let other people who do not know us or even understand us turn us upside down. You might have some friends, very close friends, but when you're getting ready to embark on something that's fresh and new and exciting for you, you might say, you might be an artist and you know you're a good artist. And then you have somebody in your family hears you talk about your dream. I'm going to be this big artist. I'm going to do murals all over the city. I'm going to do huge, humongous sculptures. I'm going to be in that museum, that gallery. You might have somebody in your family that's going, what? Why are you talking like that? Nobody in our family is an artist. Nobody, we do artwork, but nobody's ever gone out there and shown something. And when it does, it fails. Now, if you have that kind of heavy emotional energy coming towards you from a family member or a close friend, you hear it enough times, you will doubt yourself. You will doubt the idea that came to you to do. What else happens? Well, when other people don't understand us, they start turning us upside down, shaking the coins out your pocket. We can fear our true strength. And our true strength is embedded deep down in ourselves. When you come to think about it, where is that strength coming from? Well, it could be coming from a lifetime of experiences where you knew your world was falling apart, but something inside of you was able to move you forward. You decided, well, I'm not going to sit here on the curb and cry. I'm going to dry my eyes because every day it's not getting better. I have to get up. I have to start doing something. So you get up, you start doing something. You dust yourself off or dust yourself up. You do what you got to do. But then something happens. Now, it may take years, many years, or several months, but something happens inside of you where there's a shift. We don't have to always think beyond ourselves about the great awakening outside. There's one happening, waiting to come through you right now. So we'll fear our true strength and where that's coming from. And often we do not love ourselves enough. I'll say that part. We do not love ourselves enough. And that means unconditionally. That means without judgment. So you might know somebody in your family and they're heavily judging themselves because someone that they looked up to compounded their energy with negative emotions. And then they began to agree with that negative picture. Yes, a lot of things that we're looking for, searching for, is really on the inside, but we don't really understand that until we're going through our life itself. And then we kind of see that it's all happening on the inside. The late Reverend Ike used to say, it's an inside job. So you have to break into your own consciousness, literally, and begin to shift things around and begin to feel better about yourself. You have to trust yourself, honor your own words. We hear the word integrity all the time. It's linked to the word honesty. So we got to be honest with ourselves and understanding where we are in our life and what we might need or do to go to another level in our lives. But it's all based on self-love. Because if you have love of yourself, you're not going to do certain things. I remember growing up, and many of you have had these experiences as well. We grow up in certain areas and certain neighborhoods where we don't see things really popping off and jumping and doing well. We might see a lot of desolation. You see a lot of gangs and things of that nature. And if they're not, teenage gangs, they're adult gangs. A group of gangs out there selling drugs, fencing, stolen goods, you name it. And many children have to walk through that environment sometimes to get to school and come home from school. And usually sometimes the drug dealer might catch them and they find one, that one can bring the drug into the school. Anything. We're hearing it now, kids sneaking guns, live guns with bullets in them into school. And that's been going on for a long time now. Somewhere down the line, that child within that family has low self-esteem. They don't love themselves enough to make those changes where their children aren't somehow getting hold of a gun and taking it to school. So there's some changes that have to happen to create certainty and not uncertainty, to overcome fear and doubt and illusion, and seeing a real construct, a real picture in front of ourselves. But it has to come from inside. So we have to learn how to love ourselves. We have to have more compassion for ourselves. When you're compassionate about something, you kind of see it. It's like the word passion. If you're passionate about a career, you're passionate about your art, you're passionate about music, dance, drama, acting, and you go out there every day and you're around the various groups that are doing it, well, eventually you're going to do it. But compassion is about having a little more sensitivity thrown into the bucket. Compassion has to do with more like it's a part of the self-love and non-judgment. But when compassion is there, it's like encompassing yourself and your passions with the right people who talk the right language to you. In other words, people who are uplifting you with their language. If you got to do it by yourself, then it's going to be affirmations. It's going to be affirmative prayer treatments for yourself. It's going to be decrees for itself, for you. It's going to be you doing positive actions in your life. In other words, you get in front of the mirror and self-talk yourself up. I'm going to have a good day today. This is what I'm going to do today. People are very happy. You're going to get passionate. And you say with enough conviction and strength and high energy, frequency or vibration in your words, over a period of time, in a matter of moments, you will be meeting people. Who knows? You might meet them. You pull in the gas station to get gas. You lock up your car. You go inside. You pay the money to pay gas. Somebody in there smiling. Or you have that smile on your face that exudes out of your body, and everybody knows that's a good-hearted person. I wish I had more people like that in my life. So you begin to do those things, right? You begin to make the effort, take the step. Now, when you're loving yourself more without judgment, the next thing is you're very compassionate, right? And then after that, then what? Trust who you are. When you can trust yourself, it's going to work out. Why? Because you're no longer going to listen to the naysayers, whether they're in your family, whether they're close friends, associates, business people around you. Sometimes People will have great ideas for you, but what's the agenda for them? We know we got to pay something, but what's the true agenda for them? Some people can teach you something, see what you're doing, and they're looking at something that you're doing. They go, I will, I will take this thing and move it. Hold on. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen is we're going to get excited, right? We're going to want to do something that's going to make a greater change. So, what happens is, and one of the things that happens is, we find ourselves doing a lot of contemplation. If you look at the word contemplation, right and left temple working together, coming together, actions coming together to produce a bigger thought or to produce a map that we're going to follow. What's going to happen is you're going to slide away from too much contemplation, too much overthinking, because sometimes overthinking can create doubt. And you're going to move toward meditation more often. Now, you can contemplate on the thing and then take a piece of it and meditate on it. But what you might find is things roll faster when you jump into a daily meditation for yourself. You can read all sorts of self-help books. Hey, I've written 6 books. You can read all of my books. That doesn't mean that everything in the book is going to help you. Maybe some of the things might help you unless you're looking for something specifically that aligns you or attunes you to the information in my book or somebody else's book. The key thing is each one of us must make a step. You ever see those multi-level marketing groups, networking groups that they've been around for 30, 40 years now, I would think. And what happens is the lead person, what they learn from their mentor, which nowadays they would call their business coach or their life coach, transformational coach, they learn to use certain emotional words that are designed to trigger you. And not just use the emotional words to trigger you, but also get you hyped just like they're hyped. I'll say that again. A person can trigger you emotionally to get you hyped so much into what they're doing. And sometimes you may not have an opportunity to ask them questions. I used to be in a lot of network marketing groups, and I'll tell you, I was in Herbalife. I was in Eureka first. And that was they called it the space age food that would come into like a foil pack. And it was instant. So you had chicken soup, beef soup, vegetable soup, shrimp soup, and they sold these things by the boxes. And you get a big box that would have about 100 to 250 of these things in there. And you had to go out and sell it. And then you have the person over you, they make 2% over you, and you would make 2% over the person, or they make 5% off of you. You make 4% off of somebody. The person underneath you made 3%. Someone down made 2%. So as long as everybody kept networking out, getting their droves of people, you're supposed to make money. And I would go to the meeting never selling anything. I jumped from Eureka to Herbalife. I did Herbalife for a while and almost was pretty good. Herbalife is still around. Eureka isn't. Then I jumped to one that was called Vemma, Vemma, and they were out of I think Scottsdale, Arizona. The guy that ran that, and for a while I was selling. Then I hit a brick wall. Why? Because I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was overthinking it. And people basically in my area, when I lived in Jersey, they just weren't into that. And it was getting these little flasks that had about 8 ounces in them, or actually it was more like a quart size bottle, right? You'd get about enough of these to last you a month because you were only drinking 2 ounces a day. Now, it kind of remind me of medicine. So when I would put it out there with other people, it kind of had this lingering taste in your mouth. But it was giving you energy to do whatever. And I worked that for like 6 months. Then I had a nosedive. Why? Because I didn't have the drive. I had jumped around to so many different things. By that time, that was back in 2006. By the time 2009 came around, I was spent. I had done over 60 multi level network marketing groups that I was involved in. And I just could not seem to get any further than having 5 or 10 people. It took me quite a while to do so. So I began to do. I began focusing on something that better. Because if I didn't feel good at doing it, how can I make someone else feel better at surpassing me and doing it? It's the same concept. When in doubt, you can trust your feelings. When I started trusting my feelings and these high powered network marketing people would get around me, I would go, as they say, by your gut feeling or what was in my heart. My heart was telling me, wait, wait, wait. I said, I've done like 20 or 30 of those things somewhere from 2005, actually further back than that, in the 80s, mid 80s, all the way up to about 2009, 2008, 2007 is when I really said, okay, I can do this anymore. But you know what? I was beginning to trust my feelings. So I would go to these network marketing meetings in hotels where they had them at, and I would sit and listen. Then I would flow into that emotionally sensitive, psychically sensitive feeling, and my intuition would kick forward. Then I would see what we're being taught is not what that person is doing. They're doing a whole nother level. They're just teaching the basic. And I remember some people, we got in that frequency, and some of us during the recess asked the guy, what are you really teaching? Because you're not teaching what's up here or here. You're teaching ground level, but you're using up here. And eventually we realized a lot of things were shifting. What was shifting was we were discovering that some people were involved in another business and they were doing great with that business. And then when they got into this business, then that they were trying to sell, they were seeing, okay, they're not really pushing, they're pushing this one, but they're making money at another one. That's why they got the time and energy to do so. Well, the bottom line is meditation is very important. Contemplation is important as well because you got to do something that makes you feel comfortable. You have to feel good about it. In order for you to make a step, you have to feel good that you're good enough to make the step. So you have to begin to think, what's more important? Another person's agenda, how something is going, or a group consensus? Because if everybody in the group is on the same page, then you can't go wrong. That's just like in a relationship. If two people are on the same exact page and understanding where each one is, they can be a successful couple. The great thing about a lot of this stuff that we do that's very creative in a sense is that we don't have to be correct all the time. We don't have to be super right all the time. We just have to understand the basics of something and how to move the base from the basics. They used to say in the martial arts all the time, be more fearful of a judoka or a karateka, meaning one who practiced judo or karate or kung fu stylist. Be more afraid of the person that practiced only one or two techniques, maybe no more than five, thousands of times. Be more fearful of that person in front of you than the person who knows 5,000 techniques and systems, but yet hasn't mastered them to some extent. Why? Because they got too many systems to use. They got too many techniques to use. But each technique is not as proficient as the next one because they haven't spent the ample amount of time from studying, from reading books, from hearing other people talk about it, to going to demonstrations. The only person that really learns, we used to say in some of the classes, karate classes, or, even in Tai Chi class, the teacher used to go, the best student in here is not going to be the one that knows thousands of verses from a book. It's not going to be the person that memorizes all these techniques and starts putting them into motion. It's going to be the uke. We used to go, who the uke? What's that? UKE. The uke is the strongest person in the class. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and most certainly spiritually. Why? Because they're like the teacher's training partner. First of all, the teacher will teach that person how to roll out, how to land so that not landing on their spine, how to land on the ground so their head is not bouncing off the ground. They're going to teach them all of that stuff just by being a uke, being thrown around on a mat, and eventually get so good at it that they can be thrown around on a wood floor and they hit that floor just right. But their whole body is callous. The whole body is tough. Then they teach them how to roll out of certain things so that they're not getting hurt. That's the uke. The uke can take a certain degree of punishment from the instructor and not run off. They are the strongest. And sometimes you can tell they're the strongest. They have a very calm look on their face. They're not angry. They're not excited. They just got that even middle tone. But their eyes is where you will see whether that person is somebody that you might pick on or better leave alone. The uke. We used to say the training dummy. And tell you, people that did those things for the teachers, they actually looked forward to it. That's the sparring partner, just like in a boxing ring. Person got all the pads and shields, and then they let the person wait. They throw some punches, and that person hits them a lot. But guess what? That person is the strongest person in the gym. The strongest person in the gym. So it's the same in studying these arts. You must love yourself more. You must have compassion for yourself. In other words, you're not going to do anything to yourself that's going to bring harm to yourself. You're not going to harm yourself mentally, emotionally, nor physically. Throw yourself off the path. You're not going to poison yourself or let someone poison your mind with negative thinking, negative feelings, or negative actions. See, the daily practice of meditation, you can change your own outlook. Your own outlook on life in general, your own life specifically, and begin to connect with the still small voice that's in you. And that still small voice is called your higher self. And that's the part of you that's connected to divine source that has all infinite sources within it. And eventually, once that connection is made, you remain connected. So, when in doubt, follow your feelings. They say your gut feelings. When in doubt, your gut will tell you. That's the other brain there in your body. The network of your body remembers things, can tune into people. Through your eyes, you can tell by the way a person is walking, the way they carry their shoulders. You're getting all kind of information all the time. So if you truly doubt something, means you're uncertain, go with your feelings. Your feelings never lead you astray. Your feelings or your emotional feelings, your emotions with your feelings, that's the magnetic side of you. But that side of you can see things and understand things as well because it's dealing with remembrance, awareness, and remembrance. That's one of the two most important words I use all the time: awareness and remembrance. Well, I'm going to sign off. And before I do so, there are classes going on at Resonant Essentials. Boy, I wish you all could have been at the psychic fair we had this Sunday. It was, as the children, teenagers say in the street, it was off the chain. Everybody was busy. Most of us worked past 5 o'clock. I know I did. I started at 12. I was done at 5:30. Amazing, amazing energy. And so many people who were coming back to be with other regular readers and healers. Amber was there. She had a blast too. I know she was busy. I would look up and she's not at the table. So she was busy. So, there's this opportunity when you come to Resident Essentials. You can learn, take many different classes there. You should go online to www.resonantessentials.com. That's RESONANTSESSENTIALS.com and click on practitioners to see the number of practitioners that we have. Some work remotely from there. Others work right in the Albuquerque area here or not far away. And they're at the center, like Amber's there on Tuesdays with Nicole Bruton Phillips. They're the dynamic duo. You should go find out why they are the dynamic duo that's there. They're there on Fridays or Thursdays. We have White of Lolo's Tarot, and she has some that she does. I believe we have Rosie Navarro there. Sometimes she does numerology as well. She has a lot of insight. She reads with oracle cards and so on and so forth. She can really help you out. There's classes that go on there at different times too. Now, we have an orbital astrologer, which is Johanna Rader, and she's there, I think, on the third Saturday of each month with an astrology club. And you can be there for free for 2 hours from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And she has usually guest astrologers coming in and talking about specific topics. Online, there is a tarot class online, and if you get in touch with Rosie Navarro, she could tell you all about that. That goes from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. on a Zoom link network class every Saturday, and the woman's name is Susan Jojola, I think. Anyway, Susan, I think Susan is from Las Lunas, but she teaches. She's an excellent tarot person. We have had another lady that came inside the center and taught, and her name is Darlene Costello, and she is an excellent tarot instructor. Now, there's a lot that goes on there, so you need to go on the website www.resonantessentials.com. You can click on events and you'll see a calendar and you'll find out what else is going on in there. I'm there every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., a 1 hour class, creative pathwork meditation. And what is that about? I introduce you to different ways of meditating for yourself. Now the group of people who have been there regular, and I invite newbies to come in. You can sit with the regulars there from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and I'm getting people into silent meditation mode now. And we have a lot of people who've had a lot of breakthroughs. We have a guy that started coming in May of last year by the name of Terrell, and it took him about almost 6 months, and bam, he had his opening. And he was connecting now. He feels better connected to his higher self. And Amber, wham, wham, wham. Amber came in November. Yeah, she started November of 2011, and by February, because Amber like works really hard. Amber's a great Reiki person, and she started having her breakthrough through dreams. So there's so much that goes on. We'd like you to have to come down and meet Michelle Vidal, who's the owner of Resident Essentials. And she just came out with her book too, called Mastering Metaphysics, The Essential Principles and Foundations of Metaphysics. So, and usually Michelle is there Tuesdays right through Saturday. She's in there. So you need to go to the website. You need to click on all the links you see at the top about the practitioners that are there, also events, calendars, products. There's products and services that's being worked on right now, and you'll be able to click right in there and get my Amazon books on Amazon, and purchase any of my books. So, people, I want you to be excited. Yeah, doesn't it? It feels like 2011. And I've been here 11 years in the city of Albuquerque. I came here in November 2011, the week before Thanksgiving. So I arrived, spent Thanksgiving here, met a lot of interesting people, that, Christmas time, New Year's. And it's just been, every place has its ups and downs. But you got to show up in order to what? Go up. I would say that you got to show up in order to get beamed up like Scotty did on Star Trek. So get in touch with Resident Essentials, Michelle Vidal. Get to know our practitioners and start attending classes. Reiki is excellent, and Amber is an excellent. Now, I haven't been on Amber's table yet, but I could tell by looking at Amber. Amber, you got to get on her table. I can tell by looking at her, feeling her energy. She works from the heart. Everybody in there does. So we like to see you there and participating and just coming on the group. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The gift. That's the gift. And then the wisdom of life, another one of my books. And Amber will tell you they're smoking hot. And that's the recent book back there. But anyway, everybody, we'd like to see you there every second Sunday, the second Sunday of each month, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We have the Psychic and Healing Fairs. It's free admission. Free admission. You can come in there and see all the different healers and readers. We even have a couple of vendors in there that you're going to like what they have. I'm there. Come on in. We'd love to see you, meet you. And if it's your first time, and you don't want to get a reading, stop through anyway and let us see you. We introduce ourselves to you. And I'm quite sure you realize that's a crazy bunch of people there at Resident Essentials. They're laughing all the time. So looking forward to you. And if you want to catch up with me, my email address, and I should put it in here. You should email me at iam.circle-of-grace1@gmail.com for more information, and I'll send you out my website and so forth. So it's time for me to run. I'm going to watch some Netflix. I'm going to do some work. I have, an important class course that I'm going to be teaching in February for 18 weeks in a row. Going to be doing a lot of stuff. So go to www.residentessentials.com. Get all the information you need about the practitioners, the owner, and events and things of that nature. Until next time, my grace is your grace. I'll be back next Thursday, which will be the 22nd of December, at 1 p.m. for another brand new episode of Clear Blue Radiance. Thank you for your time. Until that time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. I'm looking forward to meet you, greet you, and see you soon. Take care now.